Hi everyone, this is probably the most work I've done for a devlog, and I'm pretty excited to share. I finished off the ability system and added one ability per element. I tried to create a mix of different types of abilities, from instant self-cast to damage dealing projectiles to an AoE, and my favorite, which is a summoning slash necro raise imp ability. Before I showcase the abilities though, I wanted to show some other improvements, as there were quite a few. As you can see, I added a reticle and slightly changed the position of the camera to be a bit higher and angled a bit more over the shoulder so that the reticle isn't overlapping with the character's head. Currently, the reticle is simply just a few extra vertices that I threw at the end of the buffer that is used for the GUI geometry. I also locked and hid the mouse. It can be unlocked by using one of the shortcuts to open the panels. For example, I is for inventory, K for abilities, etc. And can be closed by hitting the escape button, where the mouse will be locked again. And I also made sure that when the app loses focus, I unlock it in that case as well. For the GUI, I extended the 2D GUI system a little bit by allowing square buttons and implementing drag and drop, which we'll see in the abilities demonstration. To get the abilities to work, I needed to create a system that handles users' learning and ability and all the server-side game logic for what the abilities can do. It was quite a bit of work, so I won't go over it now, and I'll sort of focus on the end result. But from a high level, basically I had to modify the physics system along with creating another fiddler to handle all of the ability state and ability tracking. And in the inventory, we can see the scrolls that I made in GIMP. In the future, these will be tradable and can be drops from monsters and world bosses, or normally bought from an NPC in your faction for gold. You will need to have the correct element level to learn it, and to cast it, you will need the actual elements. For now, they're simple, but in the future, there may be tiers of elements, and your faction level may determine which ones can be gathered and used. As I've said in the previous devlogs, there will be 5 factions. Each of those factions will be close to a specific element, which are fire, ice, lightning, earth, and nature. The areas where you will get these elements are sort of like biomes, and you'll be able to tell which one it is given the environment and the NPCs that are there. But as part of this, I've added a 6th element, shadow, which will be where we get the necro abilities, and it'll generally be a higher level area that no faction has a strong positional advantage over another. To show the abilities, you can press K, and this is the abilities panel. It shows the learned abilities, and it's organized by element type. Currently, I don't have any. So to get some, we can simply left click the scroll to learn the ability, and we can open the panel back up, and now we can see I have quite a few abilities, Fire Sploosh, for example, Healing Drizzle, and I can now drag and drop, which is something I needed to add. Ice Hole, Dash, Dirt Shield, and Raise Imp. And the Fire Sploosh we've seen quite a few times, so I'll just cast one of those. And you can see this works fine. And the next is the Healing Drizzle. So you can see this orc is pounding me, and I can do a flat 10 heal. You see, in the future, you could imagine we'll have tons of different heals based on the nature element type. But for now, I think this is fine to showcase as a prototype. And the next thing is an AoE. And what happens is you cast it at the ground, or if it hits an NPC, it creates a 5x5 meter square, which slows down anything that walks through it. As you can see, he's slowed and he's got these ice particles kind of floating around him. And this is for CC, doesn't do any damage or anything like that, but it displays how AoEs would work in the game. Next, I have a dash. So it's more like a blink, but I think dash is fine for now. And when you use it, it leaves a little puff behind and it shoots you 10 meters forward. I had to modify the physics engine a little bit to handle this sort of ability so the collider actually works properly. So that's works fine. And then I have a buff, which is this dirt shield, and I had to change the particle system a little bit to allow orbiting particles, but you can see I'm not taking any damage as he's pounding me, but you'll notice that the particles are starting to disappear as he's hitting me, and you'll see I'm taking damage now again. So I can heal, and you'll notice as I heal, there's a global cooldown and a ability specific cooldown timer. So let me kill this, and then my favorite one, which we've already seen a few times, is Raise Imp. And this one's a little janky. Sometimes it doesn't hit right. And the way I did it was I have a death collision box, and the projectile from the Raise Imp needs to hit it. And sometimes it doesn't work super good. So in the future, I might actually make it sort of a ray cast, changing the reticle color, and then doing a raise imp from that. So you don't need the actual projectile. I didn't add it this time because I wanted to be kind of consistent, but that might be a better improvement than having this specific death collision box that you have to hit. And also the models right now, they don't die and orient themselves along the surface of the terrain. So sometimes they clip through the terrain, which also makes it difficult to hit the death box. So that might be an improvement in the future. Also, for the imp spawning itself, I'm not exactly sure if I want to allow as many imps as you want to spawn. Currently, they have a 10-minute timer and they'll die. But in the future, maybe I'll have a 10-minute timer, and also you can only have 1 or 2, or as you progress in level, you can get more imps. I'm not sure. And it won't just be imps, it'll be quite a few NPCs. And the system that the imp uses will also be the system used for pets as well, which I think will be cool in the future. So anyways, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.